Okay, this ain't the last field of hay I got to bale, but it's getting close. Don't know what moisture is going to be, so I'm going to go ahead and start spraying. I know the outside round is wet, so that's why I'm not baling it yet. I'm going to wait till last to bale it. Yep, it's a little wet. A little bit wet, it ain't bad wet. Wet enough it's got to be sprayed. Hear that beeping noise, that's the moisture monitor. If it's beeping, that means it's over 18%. So I've got it set on 18% to let me know that the hay is a little wet. But with the preservative, at the rate I'm putting on it, it can handle up to about 22-23%. I could put more on it and go higher, but I don't like to have to go much over 20. I don't like going over 25 at all. There's my first pack coming out. Yep, sure is. Pack of hay. Drops down to 16%, and then it goes back up to 19, then back down to 16, then it creep back up. It's just all over the place. This hay's been down 3 days, headed twice. It's just that getting that time of year that it doesn't dry as fast as you would like. A lot of dew in the mornings and less daylight. The sun doesn't come up as early and it goes down earlier. Oh, stay in the windrow. Looking at the camera and lost where I was at. I know the window's dirty you're looking through. Sorry about that. Alright, we just dropped pack number 2. Let's see how wet this windrow is. This is up here next to the woods. It's actually not too bad yet. %, all the way, or 18. Behind on my steering. About crashed the baler. Got into the hydraulic hoses with a tire a little bit. So yesterday's field and today's field ain't been nearly as good as what I baled Friday. Well, wait a minute, what day did I bale it? I guess it was Saturday and Sunday. I baled some hay that I had down near my house, or closer to my house than this field. This field's pretty good ways away, and it was just as good as I got just as many bales off the second cutting as I did the first cutting I did, which is pretty unusual. Normally you get about 50 to 60% on second cutting, and but I did fertilize it for a second time. I fertilized it for second cutting, but I did here too, and I did at the other place it didn't do so well. The only other thing is that I can think, when I baled the first fields, the fields that I did first that done so well in second cutting, I got to bale those fields about at the 1st of June, sometime in the 1st of June. And this field and the other field that didn't do so well was baled at the end of June. So it lacks about a month of growing time. You know, there's about a month of growing time, this field and the other field that didn't do good, versus the fields that did do good. They got to grow about a month longer. So that might have been some of it, but I need to do some soil samples out here. I don't think these fields, even in first cutting, these fields didn't do as well as what I thought they should. This field seems to respond to fertilizer pretty well. The other field doesn't respond to fertilizer anymore, so there's something out of whack on it. It has had lime in the last 2 years, so I don't think it's lime, but it could be. I need to check the pH, or have the pH checked, do some soil samples, see what's going on over there, because it's not doing like it should. That was the ultimate test of the new weight system. If y'all don't know, I'm going up at 19 degrees right here. This is the same spot that I had a bale roll from, like right here all the way back down there. I'm talking about a square bale rolling now, not a round bale. But anyway, I'm going to try to hold the camera level. Anyway, I've checked this with the smart level. I don't have it today, but I have checked it before. It's 19 degrees. Tailgate closed perfectly, so the weights have helped or fixed the problem. This is even steeper than places that hadn't been closing before, so that's good. So let's keep baling. All right, I about got this field done. It's kind of a wobbly place y'all are sitting there. I'm running about 6 miles an hour baling this because the windrows are really thin, and I've got a bigger nozzle than what I need in the sprayer. So I'm running the pressure really low, and I'm trying to run fast enough to keep the rate down about what it ought to be. Even though the hay is running about 17 and 18, that's still, sometimes it hits 19, so I don't want to not spray it just in case. And I know some of you are like, what are you spraying? Well, it's a hay preservative, and the best way to describe it to somebody that don't know what it is it's kind of like a vinegar, it's got like a vinegary smell to it, and it's just to preserve the hay in case if the moisture's too high, to keep it from molding. And it'll actually make a little bit better hay, or better feed quality out of the hay, because the more moisture you can keep in the hay when you bale it. If you get it down to like 9% moisture or 8% moisture, you ain't got much as far as hay feed value. It's just kind of crumbly, and it won't make very good hay. But if you have it at, say, 20% moisture with this preservative on it, and it's preserved, it doesn't mold, you're going to have more nutrition in the higher moisture bale. So it makes really good hay if you get it with a little bit high moisture and put preservative on it. The biggest downside to the preservative is it costs about 50 cents per bale for me to put it on there, and that's if I'm getting it on there accurately. Typically I probably over apply it, which doesn't hurt anything other than my pocketbook. If you don't get enough on there, then you can have hay spoil or mold. So it's important that you get enough on there, but you don't want to be wasting it. So it's kind of a catch-22. It comes with the book for the sprayer, comes with a bunch of calculations and charts and all this stuff that you got to learn. And there's even a chart on this sprayer panel here. You got adjustment for pressure, and the gauge is out there on the baler, so I'm constantly watching the gauge and adjusting pressures as I think it needs to be. And so far I've had really, really good luck. I mean, I baled some hay up to 24%, and I sold it, and the people loved it. They want more, so so apparently it's doing its job, because if it hadn't have done its job, they would be calling me saying this hay ain't no good. So anyway, that's what the sprayer's for. It's about a $1,500 $1,500 for the sprayer and the nozzles and the hoses and the gauge, everything to set it up. The monitor for the cab, which is basically just a switch and a knob to adjust the pressure. And I mean, it's a little expensive for what it is, I guess, but it gives me a whole lot more peace of mind knowing that my hay is not going to spoil. So it's made life a whole lot easier, especially on second cutting. Second cutting is hard to get dry, and it's hard. It will fool you. You'll think it's dry sometimes, and even with a monitor, it'll fool you sometimes, and it won't be. So it's pretty good practice just to spray all the second cutting, but I try not to unless I have to spray it. But it's probably a good practice to spray it all, but I don't. If I think it's good, if I'm seeing 14, 15% on the moisture monitor, and I can't feel any moisture in the hay touching it, I ain't gonna spray it. But I'm gonna be sure that it's dry. And I always typically spray the outside rounds now, because they're always wet. I don't care what you do. And you can get them dry most of the time in the summer in first cutting, but in second cutting with the heavy dew, and it don't get off the hay in the shades and in the shady areas until like 12 o'clock, I'll spray the outside rounds. It don't matter what the moisture is. But anyway, most of the time after you get out in the field, it's been in the sun good, and you've been down 3 to 4 days, most of the time it's okay. But man, I got my brake pedals locked together. I'm trying to use them to steer, and it ain't working. I lock them together when my wife is running the tractor, because she has accidentally, she had to stop one day really fast, and she pushed one brake pedal and dug a big hole in the ground. So I try to lock them for her so she don't have to worry about them being independent. But I don't like them locked together. I like them independent. That's the way I was raised, to run a tractor, 2 brake pedals, and you use them to steer when you need them. And that's the way I run a tractor. So I'm sorry if I'm bouncing all over the place here with storytelling, but I had a cup of coffee before I started filming, so rambling about everything. But as far as the accumulator's going, this is a steep field. Like part of it over there is 19 degrees, which is what, like 34 or 36% slope or something like that. I think it's 36. I can't remember. I think that was last of the hay of this field. But yeah, it's this field is just steep, and I hadn't had to get out. I ain't had to get out one time. I'm gonna stop, jerk that bell right there so it goes into the accumulator. Yeah. Yeah. Alright, now we're done baling, and we're gonna start loading them up and getting them out of here. Move them out. I'm so happy to be done. Woo! It has been one long weekend. This weekend even went into Tuesday, because today's Tuesday. It started Thursday mowing. So, whew. About, I don't know how many bales I got, but I was around 2,000. So, anyway, here we go. Got to be pushing 2,000 bales. So I'm happy with that. Until next time we bale, I got some more fields to bale. One that's going to be good for square baling, and then one that's a new field. I don't know if it's going to be good for square baling. It's down at the tree farm. So I don't know how it's going to look. I did spray it for weeds, but last time I went and looked at it, it wasn't growing real good. So my alfalfa's doing real good right now, though. Since I cut it because it was getting a lot of weeds in it, and I wiped it with a weed wiper, and then I cut it, and man, it was coming back good. It was already about 8 inches tall last time I looked at it. So I don't know if I'll get to cut it though, because if you cut it and it's too short, when it frosts, it can kill it, and I don't want that to happen. But I've been told that if you wait till after it frosts, a good hard frost on it, then cut it, if you can get it up, then it won't hurt it. So I may try that after it frosts. Anyway, I hope y'all enjoyed the video, and we'll see y'all later.